Ascension EAP, Recovery and Resilience, Moving Through Trauma to Growth and Well-Being. Portions of this series were filmed at St. Anthony's Retreat Center in Marathon, Wisconsin. So Rayanne, last time we talked about recovery and resilience through the paradigm of look, listen, and link. This time we're going to focus on listen. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right.
There are lots of ways to listen, and we're going to talk about some of those today. So when we think of resilience and listening, it's about noticing. It's about paying attention. So you may listen to your self-talk, listening, noticing how your body is feeling, the stress that we carry in our bodies. I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in the thoughts that are going on inside our head that we forget that we're more than just a thought being, that we are a physical being, and we carry our experiences physically, emotionally, and cognitively. So we're going to listen.
So what are some of the other things to listen for to let me know that things might not be okay?
Yeah, what you're kind of talking about here is the stress reactions, the physical reactions that people have to stress. So under stress, you may experience what we call a fight or flight reaction. Or some people will add in freeze as well. And fight or flight is that sympathetic nervous system kicking in really most primitively to make sure that we're surviving whatever we're going through. But some of the ways that we experience that physically are muscle tension, we may feel jittery, our heart beats faster, we may breathe more quickly and it may be more shallow. So our body's gearing up to keep ourselves safe.
So how do I come down from that? I feel like some days this happens often. What are the effects of frequent exposure to stress?
Well, I think you're right. Many days this happens often for many of us. And that's your sympathetic nervous system kicking in. That's a normal reaction. So we shouldn't try to not have that happen. That's your body working correctly. But you're right. Chronic stress is not good for us. It causes lots of health conditions, heart problems, the stress-related musculoskeletal problems, lots of physical issues and emotional issues too.
So are the symptoms of stress then mostly emotional, or is there more to it than that?
Well, stress affects us in a lot of different ways. So just like there are a lot of different aspects of us as human beings, stress touches on all those different aspects. Physical, I talked about the fight or flight response. There's also effects of stress on our cognitive or mental well-being. We may find that we don't concentrate as well. Our memory becomes a problem. From an emotional perspective, of course, we may become depressed, maybe edgy, maybe less empathetic toward others, which can be a problem. I think relationally, when we're dealing with chronic stress, sometimes we start to cut out those things that we think might be optional, like relationships and support of other people, because we're just spent at the end of the day. So we want to try to minimize the stress by cutting that out. And of course, spiritually, people begin to wonder when they're facing chronic stress, what is the meaning of all this? What is the purpose?
Right. So how do I increase my awareness of the effects of stress on my body, my physical body?
Yeah, it's not as hard as it sounds. It's really just about slowing down and noticing. We talked about that look last time around, talked about listening to the cues our bodies give us. And it's just about slowing down and paying attention to those things, getting a little bit more out of your head and into your physical body. So that can be a number of ways. We can do exercises like body scan that make us pay focused attention to different parts of our body. to scan it for stress, scan it for tension, those kind of things.
So it sounds like it's crucial to have these skills when we're dealing with stress.
Yeah, and I think we have these skills, but the way that we have figured out how to work makes us put those skills aside in favor of denying our physical well-being, really denying all kinds of things to focus on the task in front of us. And what I'm saying is those ways that we've figured out how to cope and deliver great service, which we want to do, get in the way of us taking care of ourselves. To be able to focus on or aim for resilience, to build that resilience muscle, means we have to have some foundational things in place before we can move up that ladder. So Maslow, a lot of people know that name, created what he called a hierarchy of needs, all the way from the basic survival things that we need, safety, security, food and water, up to self-actualization, really finding meaning and purpose in our lives. And if we don't attend to that foundational need of safety, security, that well-being, to build that resilience, we're not going to be able to climb that ladder.
Right. So now we've looked, we know what's going on around us and how it's impacting our body. And we've listened, so we hear our body and our mind communicating with us.
And now it's time to link. So we need to look at ways that we can connect to resources, maybe inside of us already, or to external resources to build that resilience that we all have.